Nowadays, when you ask AI what it takes to become an interior designer, it can make it sound like you need a degree, AutoCAD, and years of training before anyone will hire you. Let me show you why that isn't always the case. I get asked these 9 questions all the time about how to become an interior designer. So let's start with question number 1. Do you need a degree to become an interior designer? The answer is not necessarily. If you want a very technical role in a large architecture or design firm, formal qualifications do matter. But if your dream is to design beautiful homes for private clients, there are many different routes in. For example, I know designers who've studied interiors, art, or fashion, and others who are career changers without that type of education. So don't think of it as what degree am I supposed to have. Start with what kind of designer do I actually want to be. This will help a lot, as designing hotels for an architectural practice and redesigning someone's family home are 2 completely different careers. Choose the destination first, then choose the training. What does an interior designer actually do? TV shows make it look like all you do is choose cushions, a few lamps, then the big reveal. Lovely. However, real interior design, believe it or not, is mostly solving problems. The client wants an enormous dining table, but the room is tiny. She loves a cream sofa, but she has a Labrador and 3 children. You take what somebody wants and they can afford and how they actually live, and make it all work together beautifully. So good taste helps, but decision making is a huge part of being a designer. What do you actually need to learn to become an interior designer? To answer that, I'd always ask these 5 sub-questions. How do you make rooms look good? How do you make rooms work? How do you choose furniture, lighting, and materials? How do you communicate the design? And how do you deal with clients and money? There's obviously a lot inside each one, but you don't need to learn every piece of interior design before you start. Therefore, learn enough to design one room properly, which leads to another and another. And by the way, if you've ever wondered whether an online interior design course truly cuts it, look at what you can actually do by the end of it. Because watching 40 hours of lessons is not the same as designing 3 complete rooms. That's why I made a free 7-day mini interior design course, so you can learn this stuff properly before committing to anything big. I send you 1 lesson by email each day, so you can actually start doing the work. The link is in the description below. Do interior designers need AutoCAD? No. I've worked with interior designers who run their own companies, work on multi-million-pound projects, and don't know how to use AutoCAD, SketchUp, or any technical design software. They simply outsource it. They spend their time finding clients, developing the design, presenting an idea, and running the project. That said, if you want a technical support role inside a firm that uses AutoCAD, then yes, you do need to know how to operate AutoCAD. So again, don't spend 6 months mastering software for a job you don't even want if it's not ultimately what you are looking to do. How do you make an interior design portfolio and get a first client with no experience? You create concept projects. For example, take this brief. A couple with 2 children buys a 3-bedroom house. They love warm, modern interiors, need lots of storage, and have a £60,000 budget. Great! You design their living room, do the layout, mood board, furniture, budget, visuals, and this gives you something real to show. Then Start small to get going. Your first paying client doesn't need to hand you the keys to a £4 million house. They might simply say, I hate my bedroom. Can you help? Perfect. A consultation. You create a furniture plan, a shopping list, choose the wall color. A simple, safe start. They might then recommend you to your next client or ask you to do more rooms. The first goal is simply getting from, I think I can do this, to someone just paid me to do this, which changes everything and gives you confidence. How long does it take to become an interior designer? Unfortunately, there isn't one answer to this, as everyone has unique ways of learning. A university route may take you several years, whereas a career changer learning focused residential design skills can start creating portfolio work much sooner. Personally, I would flip the traditional order. 10 years ago, people often trained quietly, built the portfolio, made the website, and only then started marketing. I wouldn't do that now because building an online brand takes time. So instead, I would start sharing the journey almost immediately. Show the mood board you made, post 2 layouts, and explain why one works better. Film yourself visiting a showroom and so on. Don't pretend you're already an expert. Let people watch you becoming one. By the time you're ready for clients, you may already have an audience that knows exactly what you do. Am I too old to become an interior designer? If you're 38, 45, or even 62 and thinking you've missed the boat, not true. You may actually have some advantages. You've probably lived in a few homes. You know why a beautiful kitchen with nowhere to put the toaster is incredibly annoying. You may know exactly what a children's bedroom needs because you've stepped on enough Lego in your life. You've probably bought furniture with your own money and regretted at least one expensive decision. These are useful experiences. You may also have parts of your own home you can photograph and use as early portfolio pieces. And if you've already had another career, even better. You probably know how to meet a deadline, write an email, present an idea, and deal with difficult people. Nothing compares to experience. How much do interior designers make? Okay, let's put some actual numbers on it. In the US, if you're starting out working for a design firm, think roughly $45,000 to $60,000 a year. With experience, 60 to 80 is very normal territory, and senior designers can get into 90 to 100 plus. But if you run your own studio, it becomes a completely different calculation. Imagine you charge $3,000 to design one room, and you sell 3 of those projects a month. That's $180,000 a year in revenue before taxes and expenses. Revenue is not the same as salary. You will have quiet months, marketing costs, business expenses. So don't look at that number and think that's what lands in your bank account. And this is where AI is actually useful. Tell it your city, your experience level, the type of projects you want to work on, and whether you want a job or your own clients. Then ask it for a realistic local range. That gives you a much better starting point. But eventually, the market gives you the real answer. Apply for the job or put a price on your service and see if somebody buys it. When can you actually call yourself an interior designer? It's safe to say nobody arrives with a certificate saying, "Congratulations, you may now proceed as an interior designer." You learn, you practice, You make a portfolio, you help someone, someone pays you, and then repeat. There are a small number of countries where the title or certain types of interior design work are regulated, so do check the rules where you live. Otherwise, for the most part, the bigger problem isn't permission. It's waiting far too long to start doing the work. So if I were starting today, I would learn the basics, design something, show people, build the audience while I build up the skills, and start before I feel completely ready. If you want to try a structured first step, my free 7-day mini interior design course is linked below. And if you are wondering how to become an interior designer in the age of AI, watch this video next.